Have you ever had your exterminator asked to crash on your couch? So my exterminator Rodrigo shows up for our quarterly spray, right? Dude's been handling my ant problem for 3 years. Super professional, always shows up in his pristine pest defense uniform. This time he walks in dragging a suitcase, eyes all red, and goes, "Hey man, weird question, but can I crash here tonight?" I'm standing there holding my coffee like, everything okay? Turns out his wife kicked him out because she found his secret stash. I'm thinking drugs, affairs, gambling debts. Nope, comic books. Apparently Rodrigo has been hiding a collection worth $40,000 in a storage unit for 8 years, spending his overtime organizing vintage Spider-Man issues. She found the credit card statements. The thing is, I couldn't say no because this man knows where I hide my spare key, has seen me cry over a cockroach, and once removed a wasp nest from my bathroom while I stood on the kitchen table. So now Rodrigo's on my couch, and it gets weirder. First night, I wake up at 3 a.m. to find him in my kitchen making quesadillas and explaining pest behavior to my cat. See? Ants follow pheromone trails, he's telling Mr. Whiskers, who's just sitting there like this is normal. That's why you gotta disrupt their communication. My cat's more engaged than I've ever seen him. By day 3, Rodrigo's reorganized my entire pantry based on pest vulnerability levels, installed child locks on my cabinets, trust me, raccoons are getting smarter, and started a group chat with my neighbors about perimeter defense strategies. My HOA president thinks I've hired a live-in pest consultant. The breaking point comes when I bring a date home. She walks in to find Rodrigo in my living room wearing my bathrobe, teaching an online course called Urban Pest Psychology on my laptop. He waves at her and goes, "Don't worry, I'm the exterminator." She looks at me like, "Is that what we're calling it now?" Before I can explain, Rodrigo starts telling her about the fascinating mating rituals of carpet beetles and how my apartment is a case study in acceptable cohabitation. She leaves. Rodrigo apologizes by deep cleaning my entire apartment with hospital-grade antimicrobial solutions he keeps in his truck. Week 2, his wife starts texting me. Is he eating? Tell him his mother called. The comics better be worth more than our marriage. I become their unofficial mediator, relaying messages while Rodrigo explains how a mint condition, Amazing Fantasy number 15 is basically a retirement fund. Then she sends, "I found his other collection, the one with the action figures." Rodrigo goes pale. Turns out there's another storage unit. This one has vintage Star Wars figures, all in original packaging, including some prototype Boba Fett that's apparently worth more than my car. His wife shows up at my door with 3 boxes, not to fight, but to stage an intervention. She sets up his rarest comics and figures on my coffee table like evidence. "Rodrigo," she says, "you've spent our anniversary fund on a limited edition Jabba the Hutt playset." He responds with, "But honey, it's still factory sealed." They start arguing about liquidity versus nostalgia, and I'm just standing there wondering if my home insurance covers domestic disputes involving collectibles. Plot twist. His wife pulls out her phone and shows us her secret. She's been buying vintage Barbies, like the really expensive ones. She's got a storage unit too, filled with holiday Barbies, international collection Barbies, and something called a Midnight Moon Princess that she insured for $8,000. They stare at each other. Then they both start laughing, like maniacally. They hug, they cry, they apologize. Rodrigo moves back home that night, but not before he schedules my next appointment and leaves me with a parting gift, a detailed map of my apartment showing all possible entry points for various pests, color-coded by season and threat level. He also signed me up for his newsletter, Pest Friends, a quarterly guide to coexistence. Last week, they invited me to their collection merger party. They're combining their storage units and opening a vintage toy and comic store. Rodrigo still does pest control, but now he offers discounts if you let him check your attic for potentially valuable forgotten treasures. My ant problem is gone, but I've gained something else. The knowledge that everyone's hiding something weird, and sometimes that something is a $40,000 comic collection. Also, Mr. Whiskers now refuses to kill bugs because Rodrigo convinced him they're essential to the ecosystem. 5 stars. Would let him crash again, but hopefully won't need to.